Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is August the 7th, 2024, and today the topic is words have power, or excuse me, the power of words. The power of words. Happy Wednesday, everybody, and happy first day of school to NJ. Yes, it is officially the day that we will start NJ's virtual public school, y'all. I'm excited. I'm excited nonetheless. Looking forward to seeing what all it will entail. I guess y'all can thank him for this slightly early juice. I mean, look, we almost back to our, you know, 6 o'clock days, right? I mean, I know it's 6:30 or well, it just started 6:40, but still, I mean, early juice. So, um, hopefully, I'll get back on, the journey of doing that, so I can be able to focus on his other things for the rest of the days. But anywho, this is what happened today. So to God be the glory. I'm here. Um, Obviously there's a lot on my heart and mind. But if I give you guys a quick recap of yesterday, it was Tuesday. I ran errands. By the time I got back, um, it was almost time for me to kind of pretty much settle down to pray. And so I remembered around noon that the rest of the staff was going to be in the auditorium praying. So I decided to pray as well from home. And so I just, specifically focused and prayed for the church in different capacities. And so as I was doing that, all I had in my mind was like that conversation I told you guys about where the gentleman was telling me to, or that we should use our voice, right? Our God given power that He gave us already, like, because it's already been done and things of that nature. And like I said, that's been standing out to me. So yesterday, I feel like I was being very intentional about, like, you know what? I'm going to pray against my quote unquote anxiety about work, right? I'm going to pray against, anything trying to sow discord in our community. Like, I just was focused on the church and different aspects and just praying for everything. And then afterwards, I mean, that I think you guys know, if you follow me on social media, then you may have noticed that I ended up putting a quote from a song. I can't remember the name of the song at the moment, but it's pretty much the quote that was talking about, standing on Jesus Christ, the rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. That song was just really heavy on my mind yesterday morning, and so I was kind of singing it, and I know NJ was like, "I like that song," and so I was like, "Oh, that's the song that they were singing at church," and I was like, I could pull it up and let's listen to it, and so we did. I ended up pulling up the video and listening to it, and just was worshiping and just thanking God for the moment. And then like right after that, we did our family prayer, and I just was like, just crying. I was just crying, boo-hooing. And NJ, it was so cute, but at the same time, I was like, oh my gosh. So me and NJ is holding the phone because like I told you guys, since it's 21 days of prayer, um, basically at 1 o'clock, our goal is to call in Dario at work and have family prayer as a part of our 21-day of prayer experience. And so, like I said, I just had done this worship and whatnot. This thing I know my heart is just full and tears are flowing, and I'm like, it's 1 o'clock. We gotta call Papa. And so then I'm calling Dario, and we're holding the phone and then holding hands, and we're getting ready to pray. And then NJ's like, Papa, Mama's crying tears of joy. He's whispering to the phone, and she's crying tears of joy, Papa. X, Y, and Z, and it just was this beautiful, beautiful moment. And then we're all praying. NJ started us off in prayer yesterday, and then I ended up trying to wrap it up with my tearful prayer. Um, but after that beautiful moment, man, so the only other things that was on the schedule was to have a conversation with NJ's teacher. So we had our welcome call with her. And then I also had therapy yesterday as well, which is interesting. So it seemed like right after the situation, like I said, I had this beautiful moment of praying and worshiping all morning for the most part, right? And then, of course, something had to happen. Of course, crazy little stuff had to happen. NJ got into some stuff that he shouldn't have got into, and so I had to discipline him, give him a talking to, try to help him understand that, look, man, what you were doing was dangerous, X, Y, and Z. And, he just was, listening but not listening, and it's just like, oh God. And I ain't gonna lie, man, it did cross my mind, like, man, look, we supposed to be embarking on school stuff, you know what I mean, tomorrow. I can't even like think about this beautiful conversation that we just had with your teacher, and it was just so cute. You talking to your teacher on the phone, and her getting to know you, and and stuff like that. And then this happens, you know what I'm saying? And then it happened right before therapy. So that was another thing too. So the first 5 minutes of therapy, I'm had to explain to the lady that, man, I know you probably see on my face right now, I'm a little frustrated, X, Y, and Z. But this would just happen, X, Y, and Z. Um, but anyway, I know it's the enemy at the end of the day. And then afterwards, I ended up getting some interesting news where I'm just praying against. I don't want any more discord or issues, man. I just want to be able to communicate with people. I want people to understand me and vice versa. Things of that nature. And so, I'm not even gonna like dignify, I guess, with like getting into whatever. Because by the time I got the information, it didn't even really affect me because I just like I already know what this is. This is the enemy. At the end of the day, like there was a beautiful morning, prayer, worship, speaking it, all this different type of stuff, and then afterwards, that's when some little discord and little seeds tried to come up. But I just pray that God uprooted anything not of Him. And that's it. That's it, man. And technically it's already done. And so again, I'm walking in my authority, and I'm going to speak those things. And so this is what was on my heart and mind this morning. And so ultimately, it's what led to today's conversation of that. The power of words. I know we read some of these verses all the time, and we hear these verses, and we just go through life and we're like, oh yeah, power in the tongue, okay, but no, like, do you understand how powerful your words are? Again, I think if we really understood that, then we would be very limited with what we say, right? Even me here on the juice, man, I'm putting myself in this category. Like, we all could be better about this words thing. And then I even thought about, I reflected a little bit about how, again, God used his words to create everything, he said, let there be light. And, and it was like, and so in that way, I mean, we may not be able to create with our words per se, in that way that he did. But, I do believe he gave us a lot of power when it comes to what we speak and our words and things of that nature. So that's what I kind of wanted to study this morning. And hopefully I'm giving you guys some good juice to consider and think about. So, the first verse that I felt led to write down this morning is, again, that one that we always hear in reference to when we talking and when there's words and the tongue and things of that nature. It's Proverbs 18:21. It says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. We could go deeper and think about that second part because it stood out to me, but at the same time, what do we think of when we hear those that love it will eat its fruit? What, those that love what? You know what I'm saying? We could go deeper about that, right? But I mean, I think the first part of the verse is just very self-explanatory. It's telling us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. At the end of the day, you can speak death over your life, or you can speak life over your life. And the lives of others as well. And so, I mean, I guess I'm still working on, or I still need to work on, um, over explaining and things of that nature. I know that was something that the therapist was telling me in the beginning when we first started working. And, and yeah. I mean, I guess I be just trying to like make sure people understand, but I can't force people to understand me, or whatever the case may be. I just gotta like say whatever it is, and then hopefully they'll understand. Because again, that's people hear and don't hear, um, and people have their own minds and perspectives of whatever's happening and things of that nature. So yeah, I mean, it might be good for me to be able to like talk the way I do here on the juice, right? But maybe when I'm talking to other people, I just need to just simplify it. I don't know, but that just crossed my mind at the moment. But yeah, man, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and I believe that God wants us to use our God-given authority in that way. I mean, I even took some time to reflect on how Jesus, he didn't go and get armies to defeat the devil. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go and do miraculous things every time he encountered opposition or whatever the case may be. A lot of times he just spoke directly to the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like when Peter said what he said, he wasn't talking to Peter. He was talking to whatever was using Peter at the particular moment. Hey, get thee behind me, Satan. What you talking about don't got nothing to do what God the Father and is coming up with in X, Y, and Z. So you're being a temptation to me to even suggest that or even say that or whatever the case may be. And I mean, I guess sometimes we gotta be in that way and tell it what it is. Sometimes, like I said, even with the information that I received last night and knowing that, there might be some more, maybe difficult conversations that are coming my way or whatever the case may be. Regardless, man, all I'm saying is when I received the information, and my coworker basically was like, I don't know why things have to be this way. I'm like, I know why it's this way. It's the enemy at the end of the day. Like, and if you cause discord in the quote unquote head, then there's going to be issues. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, again, let's call that thing what it is. Like, look, and that's why I prayed, like, Lord, help, whether it's me with my words uprooted or, you go ahead and uproot it, whatever the case may be, let's uproot whatever's trying to be sown in the leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to call it for what it is, and I'm going to do my part to pray and to use my voice and to use my words, right? Use the words wisely. And like I said, even if I do have to have conversations later and whatnot, I just pray, that I say the right things and not just like the right things, but the things that are going to give life, and not death and things of that nature. Let me go ahead and give you guys another verse. And that is Matthew 12:36-37. It says, I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Ooh, I know that's Pope this morning. We probably don't want to hear that. We probably don't like that because we know what we say. Man, you know exactly what you say every day. And so if you know that you're going to have to give account for everything you say, I mean, again, like I said earlier, that should really make us consider what we're saying. Even again, like, I got to take account of everything I say and share here, and everything I say and share in my whole life. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfect with it or nothing like that at all. I'm human as well. So we all can work better at this, but I think we should just all take it a little bit more seriously. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Like, because again, it seems like it's very clear here. It's saying that again, we will give account for every careless word we speak, and then the words that we speak will justify us or it's going to condemn us. So yeah, that's why I can't lie, man. I feel for those that have gone on before us that they didn't cultivate their relationship with Jesus. Like I mean, from my understanding, again, that's the most important decision, the most important thing you're ever going to do in life. And so, if you spent your whole life blaspheming and cursing God and cursing His creation and everything, and that's all that you have that represents you when you're in front of Him, that's crazy. Like, can you imagine that? I mean, look, I don't know if you can imagine that, but I mean, just think about that, man. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, I think that the Lord wants you to think about that. But if you again are, you got a relationship with God and you're saying, what He wants you to say and things of that nature, and you're upbuilding His kingdom with your words and things like that, then hey, man, you got at least something, to defend you and stand for you and be like, because again, Jesus is standing in the gap for us. Again, can we put on the table, y'all? I don't know if we forgot. But none of us is worthy to go to heaven. Like none. Like if Jesus didn't do what He did, my understanding, what the Bible is telling us, is that none of us would have made it. None. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So He did what He did. And us believing in Him makes God be able to see Him instead of us. And it makes us justified. Like, that's it. Like, I mean, that's what the Bible's saying. Like, I don't, I know that there's plenty of other words, and I'm not making light of anything. We need to study to show ourselves approved, read that Bible, read every word, take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? But the gospel message, from my understanding, is that again, Christ lived, He died, and He rose again for us. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, none of us is worthy of that. No, none of us deserve that at all. Um, and all of that's Bible. Like, I might have been paraphrasing everything, but you guys can look up everything I just said and make sure I'm saying it right. But that's my understanding of what the Bible is saying. And so, yeah, I mean, just talking about our words today. Let me give you guys one more verse that I felt there to write down this morning. That was Ephesians 4:29. I think it might be 24 because again, y'all know how I write. So anyway, but I believe it's 29. It says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." So, I mean, I know we say all kinds of things, friends. I know we kind of talked about this yesterday, right? About, being woke versus being awoke or awake, excuse me. Um, and, again, I do believe that we make light of this as humans. We just go around, say anything and everything. Don't think nothing of it. Think like, oh, I don't know what we think, man. But if you get into the Bible at all, you will see the power of our words. And like I said, hopefully the juice this morning, will encourage you and inspire you to use your words more carefully. Think before you speak. I know even this weekend I had the opportunity to create a video, like a video book reading situation. I know I'm not saying it at all in a good way, but someone hired me to read their children's book, but I also had to make a video with it, basically. And the book was all about sampling your words before you speak. And how powerful is that? Like, yes, man, we all need to be doing that. We need to be, like, the character in the book basically was, encouraging her granddaughter to, taste your words, make sure, that you really want to say or you really need to say, right, what is on your heart and mind to say, and then say it versus, I mean, like, who knows, man, lives could be saved and changed, right, if you really took the time to think about the things you say before you speak. And I guess, like I said, that's the juice, y'all. That is the juice today. The Bible verse of today is Matthew 19:26. It says, "But Jesus beheld them and said unto them, with me this is impossible," or excuse me, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.